My mama always says, life is like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're gonna get. That is one of the most weirdest dialogues that I have ever heard from one of the most greatest Robert Zemeckis films of all time, called Forrest Gump. And yes, ladies and dudes, it is very darn true that this movie is starting to become 30 years old. And this is one of the movies that came out in the year of 1994, and it became one of the most popular films of all time. And it's very hard to believe that it is. Well, anyway, hi ladies and dudes, this is Rebecca Lynn Barkley, aka Booba 1987. This is my review for today. And today, I gotta do another movie review, ladies and dudes. I'll have to make this short and quick because I don't have anything to say about this great Robert Zemeckis film. So anyway, for my next movie review is Forrest Gump. One of the most greatest films of all time. And yes, it came in the 90s. And it featured Mr. Tom Hanks. So yeah, it's hard for me to say about this movie. So without further ado, ladies and dudes, let's head on to my next movie review of Forrest Gump. All I could say about the main plot of the story is, it's all about Forrest Gump and his life. You know, becoming a football player, a shrimping boat captain, a war hero, and became a famous celebrity, and all sorts of stuff. Something that happened in his previous life that came from the 50s, the 60s, the 70s, and close to the early 80s. And yes, he always thought about only 4 important people of his life. Only 4 important people. Like his sweet mother, and the guy who likes to talk about shrimp, the sweet Bubba, and that Lieutenant Dan dude, and his childhood friend, Jenny. That's all I could strike that, reverse it. That's all I could say about the main plot of the story. All I could say about this wonderful film, it's a great film to watch. And yes, I did see it on TV. Just a couple of parts here and there. And thanks to YouTube, I did watch the whole movie. Uncut. It's a great movie to watch. And yeah, this movie will touch your heartstrings. Big time. It had a good storyline, great casting, good characters, a really good score, and has a lot of message to it. And yes, it had a few fun facts to be found. So anyway, ladies and dudes, I will tell you about my strongest points and the weakest points of Forrest Gump. I will say for my strongest points for this movie is the whole entire storyline of Forrest Gump. This guy does it all. You know, becoming a football player, a college student, a shrimping boat captain, a war hero, a famous celebrity, and just being a nice, normal human being who wants to live in a nice, normal life. I have no flaws with this guy. His storyline is perfectly well done in so many ways. And it's all about his life. What else I could say about that? And yes, ladies and dudes, there is a couple of interesting fun facts you should know about Forrest Gump. I remember there was one interesting fun fact you should know about this film. Did you know that one of Tom Hanks' daughters made a cameo appearance in that film. Yeah, she sure did. She did play one of the kids who is a part of in the bus. Yeah, you'll see Tom Hanks' daughter in there. She only made it in one small cameo. That was pretty much it. And another interesting fun fact you should know about this film. Yes, Robert Zemeckis and Tom Hanks, they did work together in some later on films in the later on life. There was Castaway and Polar Express. I remember there was another movie. I can't remember what's it called. It's a story about a guy who lives in the airport for a very, very long time, and I can't remember the name of it. And yeah, the most downhill movie they ever done was Pinocchio, the live-action version. You know what I'm talking about. And also that Gary guy. He also worked with Tom Hanks as well. I only know 2 movies that they did work later on. Just 2. One is Apollo 13, and the other is The Green Mile. And I think The Green Mile was the last and final film that they worked together on. And yes, they became friends in real life. And yeah, the Gary guy who became our Lieutenant Dan, he does support our country and our American soldiers. That is very darn true. So yeah, I will say that's the only strongest points I ever found with this movie. I will say for my weakest points for this movie is, yeah, I remember there was one little mistake I found about the running thingy-majig. I found it in the video yesterday. So think about that, he run 3 years, 2 months, and whatever hours it'll be. He just ran for over 2 years or something like that. Hard for me to say, but I really did not know about that mistake, to be honest. I just wish there was a part in the movie, there was a couple of deleted scenes I just wish they should put something in there. If you remember the trailer very carefully, there was like 1 or 2 deleted scenes where Forrest Gump was in a bench and he was talking to 2 elderly people, and he was kindly enough to give them chocolate. I wonder where the heck are those deleted scenes that should have been in the film. You know, where he was talking to those nice elderly people in the bench. Yeah, I wish there were a few deleted scenes that should have been there in the film, and maybe this movie would be a whole entire masterpiece and all that stuff. So yeah, I will say for my weakest points of the movie, there was one little mistake that was in the film, and I wish there were some deleted scenes that should have been a part of the film. That's for sure. I have no idea what I want to say about the characters. They're all enjoyable in so many ways. Yeah, like Forrest Gump's mother. She is one of the most sweetest mothers that you'll ever see in movie history. Bubba is such a nice gentleman who likes to talk about shrimp a lot. And it's such a sad shame that he died in the film. It sucks. I wish he had a little bit more part in the film if he hadn't died. I'm sure he wants to become a shrimping boat captain. And Lieutenant Dan is a likable character. I feel so sorry for him for losing his legs. And he has no idea what to do in his later on life. He's a very misunderstood character. I feel bad for Jenny. She's also misunderstood. She just had a bad, terrible life. She is with the wrong people at the wrong time, and the only person that she ever trusted in her life is Forrest Gump. And as for Forrest Gump, played by Tom Hanks, he's just a lovable, honest, sweet human being who is very well behaved. He's using good manners. He'll do anything to protect his beloved Jenny at all costs. And just be himself. He'll always be himself for as long as he lives. That's all I could say about that. And I'll go ahead and tell you about my final thoughts of Forrest Gump. Overall, Forrest Gump is a very darn good movie indeed. It had a very good storyline, likable characters, good casting, good cinematography. It had a very nice score, and it has some very good message to it. It's a very nice, likable film indeed, and I decided to give this movie a 9 out of 10. What else I could say about that? And that's my whole entire movie review of Forrest Gump. And tell me, ladies and dudes, what is your most favorite Tom Hanks movie of all time? And is there any hope that Robert Zemeckis could find a way to get his old magic back and try to make a much better film for the 21st century? After all, that poor dude needs a lot of help that he could get. Well, whichever it is, leave a comment there and let me know, and I will do more videos coming really, really soon for this year, if you know what I mean. So, I'll see you all later, and sayonara!